We want to thank our amazing sponsor, the Rope Drop Queen herself, Michelle McKnight. She's a destination specialist with touring plans and can help you plan an amazing vacation. Whether it's Disney, Universal, a cruise, or an all-inclusive, she can help you with booking, planning, and strategizing to help you have an incredible experience at a great rate. Contact her today at michelle@touringplans.com. Now, on to the show.
Helping you navigate the Disney parks.
With the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
You're listening to Rope Drop Radio.
Welcome to another Rope Drop Radio. Derek and Doug talking all things Disney, and today we'll be talking all things resorts. That's right, Doug and I will be giving some rankings based on everyone's favorite lightning round question. What is your favorite Walt Disney resort?
Is that the favorite question?
It's actually probably one of my favorite ones because we get a different answer almost every time. And almost every resort has been named.
I think so on that lightning round question. Excellent point.
And so we even asked our Patreons a couple weeks ago, and it blew my mind, Doug, because out of all of our Patreons, pretty much every resort was mentioned, and which is awesome. And it really inspired me. I actually went down the rabbit hole, started reading people's blogs and YouTube videos, and everyone's all over the place ranking resorts. So you get to hear Doug and I's rankings of the resort. So thank you, Patreons, for mentioning yours. And we have two new Patreons we have to give a shout out to, and that's Bryce and Sharon. Thank you guys so much for joining the Rope Drop Radio community and getting the bonus episodes. Today we're actually going to rank some of the airports that we're in, both good and bad, to go along with the resorts that we travel. Because Doug and I have had some bad airport luck lately, and it kind of inspired this Patreon episode. So if you want to check that out, you're going to have to go into the show notes and subscribe. So thank you, Patreons. And Doug, do you want to do a little review for us?
We got an Apple Podcast review today, and thank you to everyone that's left one. If you haven't, just take a minute, click the 5 stars. We appreciate it greatly. And if you leave something, I get to mispronounce it. So here we go. Magically Wonderful Podcast, 5 stars, by Emily Penner. I think I got it.
There you go.
I think I got it. All right. 2 guys with great commentary and wonderful Disney tips and tricks for everyone. Would highly recommend this podcast to anyone.
Ooh, not just Disney fans. Anyone can listen to our show.
That's right. We cover all bases. We're not a niche at all.
No, not at all. But Doug, before we get into the resorts, we do have some news we got to discuss.
We got some news. Big news. Big news about stuff opening on August 2nd. The one thing everybody's been waiting to return at Disney World, Pizzafari's coming back.
Woo! Finally! It's been closed forever.
Like, I feel like my Animal Kingdom ticket should be discounted.
Now it's back to full price. So, can't wait to finally put that on.
Back. Yeah, so Pizzafari's coming back August 2nd. You're not missing anything. Columbia Harbor House comes back August 5th. Now, will or won't there be a chicken pot pie is the question. We also get Toledo's. That's at Coronado Springs. It comes back July 29th. And Yachtsman Steakhouse, July 29th. So, just a few of the reopenings. There's something announced kind of every day.
But it's getting there. Things are opening back up. People are getting down there. It's good, and I'm glad to see these things finally open up, and it'll be interesting to see what the menus look like, because I guarantee we're not up to 100%. Even when all the restaurants are finally back open, I bet there's still a few menu dishes that trickle in over the next year.
Better not be missing that chicken pot pie at Columbia Harbor.
I understand.
It's important for my marriage.
That it is. I've seen it in action, so... Yes, hopefully everything comes back by the 1st. We can all hope, but I know there's been some food distribution issues and stuff like that, Doug. So.
And when you say the 1st, you mean October 1st?
October 1st, yes. The 50th.
The 50th.
Yes. I should, clarified. That'll be, hopefully when everything's back somewhat normal-ish, we'll see.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Are we ready to play a game?
Let's play a little game. And so this has been inspired by all of our Patreons and everyone, Doug. It's really fun to hear and see what people's favorite resorts are. And if we're going to ask these questions on social media, so go at Rope Drop Radio and definitely answer them. But we're going to go each level of resort. So Doug and I are going to share our favorite moderate. Or favorite value, then moderate, and then we're going to do a top 5 because our favorite deluxe will probably fall in the top 5. And then after each round, you and I can debate if we like or dislike one, Doug. Sound good?
Are there any caveats to this? Am I worried about price at all? Am I traveling with my family?
Nope.
Is it just me?
It's your favorite. It doesn't have to go by family and stuff like that. It doesn't have to be what you think is the best. It is your personal favorite in each level. Like that question, the lightning round. What is your favorite resort, Doug? So that is what we're going at. It made me change mine up a little bit with that caveat, but I've settled on my list. I'm ready to talk about each one and why they are ranked that way. And
I got mine in
You got
writing.
your list. Ooh, there we go. I like it.
In ink.
He's got it. He's ready. So, and we'll start. How about you start, Doug? What is your favorite value resort?
So this one's tricky because at my favorite value resort, I book a suite, which is not a value price. So is it still a value if I say Art of Animation, but I stay at a suite?
Still a value because it is considered a value resort.
Then that is it, a suite at Art of Animation. Now, if I'm not cheating and getting a suite, right, I Pop Century, 100%. Nice clean rooms, Skyliner, boom, Pop Century. I feel like a suite is not really value. That's like almost moderate plus pricing.
See, I'm going to stay at the same resort, but I will take the cheaper rooms at the Little Mermaid because my daughter loves them, and I enjoyed our stay there. But you're right, the suite and Art Animation just has better stuff to look at when you're walking around, and it does have the Skyliner. And also, I really don't enjoy Pop that much, and I've had some rough luck at the All-Stars with loud kids that like to party all night.
Yeah, when we were at All-Stars on our trip, that was noisy.
That's not the first time that's happened to me, though, Doug. If you're staying at the All-Stars, there's an 89.7% chance a thing is happening. Could that be a band thing, a cheerleading thing? I don't know, but a thing is happening, and it's going to be loud and teenageries. A lot of teenagers. There you go.
Yeah, I live with enough of them. I don't need more of them. Yeah, that's one nice thing about Pop and Art is you avoid that. Really, I like the rooms at Art or at Pop a lot better than the Little Mermaid rooms because you get the bed that folds down. So if you're just 2 adults, it's great. Now 4 full-grown adults in one room at a value, not the most fun. I'm not gonna lie. You got to like the people you're with.
That's true.
I don't like anybody that much. I mean, even the last time I stayed at Pop, the guy next door kept coming and bothering us.
That's what I do. Absolutely, we had a conjoining door.
Yeah,
gotta do that. Yes, you learned a lot about extroverted Derek. So
that's
the easy one.
I knew Michelle learned a lot about extroverted Derek.
That's true. That's the easy one.
Yeah,
that
is.
That
Skyliner sets everything apart there.
We're gonna get more challenging as we get to the moderate, Doug. Oof. So this one, what is your favorite moderate resort?
It's tough. I'm really torn between Caribbean Beach and Coronado.
Okay. You gotta pick one.
So if I'm just going straight up staying moderate.
Your favorite, your Doug's choice.
I'm gonna go Caribbean Beach because of the Skyliner, everything like that. It's better for the family. I think got the 5th sleeper. I'd like Caribbean Beach as a true moderate. If I'm staying truly moderate, when we talked values, the suite is not staying value, right? But staying at Pop is staying value. I feel like on the moderate level, Caribbean Beach, staying moderate, yet I have a Skyliner.
See, I'm not going that way. I'm going to go Coronado. Is my favorite. I love Destino Tower. I feel restaurant-wise, I know it's cheating a little bit,
I feel like that's not truly moderate.
But it's there. You can eat, you can drink. It's got the best restaurants. Actually, I'll be honest, it has deluxe-style restaurants at Coronado for sure. The bus service is fine. You got 4 pickup style, actually 5 with
Yep.
So it's great for transportation. Yeah, you're missing the Skyliner, but I think the transportation is what it is. The pool's good. not my favorite, but my kids love it, and not even my favorite
It
moderate
has a
pool.
Mayan pyramid, and you're
It
just
does.
writing that off like no big deal?
I will go your place, Caribbean Beach, as my favorite moderate pool.
Okay. It's got the zero entry
It does, and a
and
little
water.
shipwreck area
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
little one. Yeah, but I don't think Caribbean Beach has good food.
No. Although Sebastian's is reopening, totally redone, I believe. So maybe it will be better.
And it's weird because I used to say Port Orleans Riverside was my favorite resort on property, and that has dropped. It's still in the top 10, but it's not even number one in the
Yeah, it's
moderates anymore.
if you really want a boat to Disney Springs, that's about all it has to offer. I like the landscaping. I like the food court is good. I
Yeah.
just it just without that Skyliner, it is falling to the bottom. And the good thing about Coronado is the most centrally located property for a
Mm-hmm.
resort on all of Walt Disney World property, where Riverside and French Quarter are off to the side. They are not close to things unless you want to be close to the backside of Epcot. And when they take you to Epcot on a bus, it is not fast. You go all the way around Epcot like 3 times before you get there. I swear they just drive in a circle for 10 minutes for no reason. But the Skyliner trumps everything when you're talking just truly moderate.
Okay, that's why it's a debate. So
Yeah.
once again, we want to hear from our listeners, and we'll have this question. We'll have what your favorite moderate is. So
Yeah.
you get to choose, and what Doug and I are wrong or right on this. If you agree or disagree with us, if you agree with me, you get a bonus point. So
Everybody's yelling French Quarter at us
I
right
know
now. I
French
know it.
Quarter. Yeah,
That was the top one 5 years ago, folks.
well, before you had a family of five, maybe.
No, yeah, for in general.
Oh,
I
okay.
haven't even mentioned Family of Five yet. I mean, we made it long, and that changes everything.
That does.
I'm not even thinking about that.
Speaking of five, we are going to get into our top five resorts because I know our favorite deluxe will fall into that anyway. So, Doug, over Walt Disney World's property, what is your number five Walt Disney World resort?
So this is where you're going to probably yell at me a little.
Maybe.
It's Grand Destino Tower.
Oh, okay. Hey, no, that's
So
fine.
the
I get
tower
it.
itself is not really a moderate. It feels like a moderate when you go get on the bus and you have to stop 4 times going around the whole property. But the bathroom is not a moderate. The room itself is not a moderate. The bed is definitely not a moderate. The linens aren't a moderate. The price is not a moderate. And like we just mentioned, a restaurant's opening back up, Toledo. It has that bar up on the top floor that is fantastic. Actual coffee in the lobby that is spectacular, I'm told. And you're connected to the convention space that has lots of dining options and 3 bridges and everything else out in the middle of the lake. Not a moderate, definitely more deluxe, but not quite deluxe pricing. So just pretty ideal. The things it's missing, Skyliner or being able to walk or boat to a park. Doesn't have park access. That's what keeps it below my next one.
All right.
Was I supposed to give that much detail?
No,
I feel
no,
like I'm
that was
already
great.
defending that one.
You are.
Because
You are, because I went, it landed as my moderate in your, top five. Like, you can have a moderate in your top five. You can have a value in your top
yeah,
five. It's
but I'm
your top
definitely
five.
not putting a regular room at Coronado on this list. I will stay at Caribbean Beach every day of the week over a regular room at Coronado.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
The tower it is.
My number five is weird. This one kind of was a hard one, but I'm glad we went there twice on our trip. I went there and slept there when I was a kid, and it was good to have some memories. In fact, my wife and I found a bunch of pictures from my stay, and it's Wilderness Lodge. Beautiful property, kind of off the beaten path a little bit, so not on the monorail. Can kind of get away from the hustle and bustle of the
Yes.
Disney stuff. Those cabins, OMG, are incredible. Hope to stay there someday with the family. But good food, great, beautiful location, and definitely one that I want to be able to go back to with the kids.
Yeah, the only knock on it is
Transportation.
transportation.
Yep.
And the transportation is awful.
Yeah, that's true.
No doubt. You can't even argue because you share a bus with Contemporary. It's ridiculous. But the location is you feel so close to the Magic Kingdom yet so far. The boat works well sometimes.
It does.
Like you said, those cabins are great. I mean, if you can afford a cabin, by all means, do it. Um, Big resort though.
It is.
Lot of spread out, big, several wings.
And bonus, it's the first place I met Mickey.
Oh,
And I have
there
a
you
picture
go.
now. My wife actually framed it. It's on our wall. Yep.
Aw, Derek and Mickey.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, and Geyser Point.
Oh, great.
Fantastic.
That Geyser Point is what helped get it into the 5.
Yeah, and we ate there that first night, right? I
We
mean,
ate there the first night, and then we went back for drinks a couple nights later.
it was good.
Yep.
So, all right, I like it. I like it. Should we
Number
do
4,
number 4?
Doug. What is your 4?
So my number 4 is Yacht Club.
Ooh, okay.
I mean, I've said I'm not a huge fan of the Yacht Club, but that's when it comes to compared to things higher on my list.
Okay.
But the location, like, in real estate, there, location, location, location.
I hear that a lot.
It's got the location. It's right there outside the back door at Epcot. And that's hard to beat, and you're not too far from Hollywood Studios either.
Okay. It is a good one. I like it.
I can defend it more if I need to.
I don't think you do. I think that's kind of... Now with the Yachtsman's opening back up, too. That helps.
Yeah, I would have liked to gone there on
I
that trip.
know that. So I'm staying at Yacht Club in November, and do I go without the kids?
But
Just to
the
have a
kids
steak.
are on that trip.
I know. My wife
What are you
hangs out
doing
with the
with them?
kids. No, my wife goes, and I have a steak by myself.
I don't see how that plan
I'm
works at all.
just throwing it out there. What are people
Like,
thinking?
honey, I'm gonna go run an errand real
Yes.
quick. How do you pass that off?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out, by the way, because I've always wanted to eat at that restaurant.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That is
But
a tough one.
the boat's kind of nice to and from Hollywood Studios after your legs are tired all day, and the walking path in the morning's not so shabby. Skyliner, if you want it, you definitely don't have to have it. You have options.
That
But,
walk's not that bad. It's great.
No, and especially Yacht Club is closer to Hollywood Studios than Beach Club, so that helps. I don't know. That bar we drank at
It's good.
the
Yeah.
Crew Lounge,
Mhm.
right? Is that what it was? I don't remember, but that was a surprising little gem.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I like it.
Yacht
I'm
Club.
good with your number 4.
All right.
It's not my number 4.
I was gonna say it's probably not on your list.
My
okay.
number 4 is Animal Kingdom Lodge, and I'm going to cheat and say put them both in there, as long
yeah.
as you get a Savannah room. I think every Disney fan needs to do that kind of trip one time. Have the Savannah room. You see it in every single Disney commercial since Disney commercials started, since Animal Kingdom Lodge was built. And it's just a great way to wake up. I think it's a beautiful resort, wonderful food, phenomenally built. And Kidani has my favorite pool on property for little kids and my second favorite pool bar, which I mean for little kids is it's got a play area.
So second favorite pool bar for little kids.
That too. Second favorite pool for little kids, second favorite pool bar on property. There you go. Two different things
kids.
in my ranking.
Yeah.
For big kids. Yes.
Just making sure what size of kids go into the pool bar.
Yeah, 21 and over kids.
Yeah, I think you definitely can put both of them together in your ranking.
Yeah.
Jumbo and Kodani. It's same property essentially, right?
The
those
only thing that
commercials,
sucks, man, is that transportation.
It's a long ways out there. It's a good place to stay if you rented a car.
Yep.
That it is make life easier. And the Ubers take forever to get there.
If they don't skip you.
Yeah, they might even see where you're at and like, nope, cancel.
I'm out.
So, yeah, that's a sad current situation, but that's a good choice. Not on my top 5.
Okay.
But close. I think it might have been 7 if I'm getting real carried away. Wilderness Lodge might have been 6. So
Okay, this is
I
why it's a
didn't
game.
write
It's
those
fun.
down. They did not make it in the ink on the pad. So, all right, my number 3. Are we
Yep.
ready for my number 3?
I'm ready for number 3.
Disney's Polynesian Village.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah, so I love the resort. Stayed there a couple times. Have a night or two booked coming up at the end of September, early October, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
So Looking forward to seeing the Moana themed
Oh,
rooms.
those rooms look incredible.
Glad the bathroom got a redo.
Yeah,
That's good. Um, it's an old property, but they just gutted and redid it, so that's enjoyable. It's hard not to like any place that serves Dole Whip. I
that's
mean, when
true.
it comes
Yeah,
down
that
to it.
gets bonus points.
The pool, zero depth, zero
Yep.
depth. It's a win. You can watch fireworks from the pool.
I'm intrigued now. I'm wondering what your 1 and 2 are.
I think half the listeners know. I'm
Okay.
not a man of mystery.
Nope. All right. Well, I like your choices. Polly's a good one. So
I'm assuming it's on your list yet.
it is, but it's not there. It's
Okay.
not number 3, Doug.
Okay, then what's your number three? What's below Polly?
The Riviera.
Okay,
I
yeah.
freaking love the Riviera. It's actually my wife is tied for her number 1. We've stayed there. It's got my favorite pool bar on property. If anyone was wondering that,
Okay, yeah,
got
that
a
was an important question.
it was. It's got
Rising.
a coffee shop in there. Topolino's is phenomenal. Great quick service, but the Skyliner is so great to have right there, walking distance, and it's just kind of got more of an intimate feel. And so my wife and I have stayed there, and now we're staying with the kids, I believe, in March 20th, so spring break. Looking forward to our kids enjoying that. But I don't always like the giant moderate walking around. There's something nice about having the condense luxury of the Riviera, and I think that's kind of what you mean with Destino Tower, kind of
Yes,
like right
absolutely.
there. And it just, I
Similar.
really like that, and kind of grew on me quite a bit when I was staying there. I don't have to walk 19 miles to get to a bus stop. So really love the Riviera. Staff was phenomenal, and yeah, I just number 3 and tied for number 1 on my wife's list. So there you go.
Yeah, the rooms are fantastically done.
Yeah, the rooms are, well,
Yeah, the
they're all
rooms are.
brand new. I mean, it opened for like 2 weeks and then shut down. So yeah, the
Oh, it
rooms
was
are still,
longer than
I
that.
know, being sarcastic, but they're still fresh and brand new rooms.
Yes.
Hey, there's USB ports in all the rooms. That's how new they are.
Yeah, all the USBs.
Yep.
All the USBs. Yeah, it's a great
Oh,
property.
and it also has that little library, little hideaway with a bunch of old Walt Disney stuff in there that I spent some time in. It's great.
And coffee in the lobby.
Yeah, I did say that, but
Oh, did
yes,
you? I
yeah, I
want
did.
to
Le Petit
reiterate that.
Cafe.
Yes. So, yeah, you can see some similarities between Grand Destino and Riviera, but very different price points. You get some different things, but yeah, it's very good. It's very good. And the Skyliner works well, gets you places. The only thing I don't like about it is you can't walk anywhere, but yet you're right in the middle of everything.
That's true.
I mean, you could walk to Caribbean Beach, but like, who's
Who's
walking
going to
to
do that?
Caribbean
Yeah.
Beach? I people.
I mean, who's
One good thing
walking
about
really any? I guess if you're staying at like Boardwalk or in all those, you walk around.
Mhm.
Good point.
Yeah, and you can walk from Caribbean Beach to Riviera for dining, and I've done that. It's very easy, works well. If you don't want to walk, you take the Skyliner, depending on what's closer.
Exactly. And that
So
Skyliners, I love it. Love it so much. So,
it is good. Nice choice, Derek.
all
Nice
right,
choice.
that's my number 3. So, what is your number 2, Doug?
I'm starting to think. I don't know what I'm trying to think of what your 1 and 2 are,
Okay.
and there's kind of several places left. I kind of thought Riviera would be in the top 2, Derek, but
It
for
it
you,
fell. It fell to number 3. It was number 2 for the longest time. It dropped to 3, and I'll get to why here in a second
I'm
after you do your number 2.
fascinated. No,
Yes.
my brain's having trouble. Number 2 for me is the Beach Club.
Oh, there you go.
So location, once again, right there outside of Epcot. Love the pool. Love the Cape May Cafe. It's close to everything. Skyliner right between it and Epcot. I mean, it's literally right there. I've always felt home in the Beach Club, particularly like the club level there. Not gonna lie, that's gonna come up in these last couple. I haven't done club level at Poly. I've heard wonderful things, but Beach Club, I like the decor. I just kind of like that nautical theme, and it has a little more whimsy, as they say, than Yacht Club. It's a little more family friendly. Yacht Club seems like a little more grown up. It's like the grown up Beach Club. It's like The beach club is where you go hang out on the beach with the kids, and the yacht club is when kids are off in college and you can have free time again. That's
That makes
exactly
sense. Totally. No,
does
you
it.
nailed it. I think so.
Yeah.
That's how I see
So
those resorts.
yeah, beach club, I really like it. I've just since the first time we've stayed there, we keep going back,
Mm-hmm.
and we just really enjoy it. We've always had a good stay there. Um, Unlike some other buildings where we've had like weird rooms and gone outside to go back inside, or you get lost, beach club's a lot simpler. Like it just seems a little more compact, even though it isn't. We like it a lot.
There you go. I
I
can't
guess
complain with
I
any of
like
that.
it a lot.
Yes, it's your
Yes,
top five.
my ranking.
Did
So
you get
that's
Michelle's top five by any chance?
she never really answered me. I
Oh,
badgered
okay.
her. She kind of did, and I'm like, you're not even trying. Samantha gave me her top five. They made no sense, so it's not even worth repeating.
Not okay.
Claire just rolled her eyes at me.
All right. Well, I will get to my number two,
Yes.
which is your number three, and that is the
Okay.
Poly. So the Poly flip flop between 2 and 3 there, and it kind of moved up in the number 2 position because the Poly is the only resort that I go out of my way every single trip. Like I have to go back years, Doug, to do a trip where I did not go to the Poly for Trader Sam's or Tambu Lounge or Bread Pudding or Ohana or just to walk around the Poly. My mom was laid to rest in Hawaii, so it always brings back good memories of with my mom. And so it's just like I love that resort. It's so peaceful, even though there's kids all running around. It's one that I absolutely love. And if I ever get a chance to stay at one of those like bungalows, Doug,
Oh, you're inviting me, right?
I'm inviting you. I might as well. Can it sleep? He'll
I
say,
don't
yeah,
know.
sleep. No, I think it
I
does
don't
sleep
know.
10 or
I'll
12.
sleep in the pool,
They're
whatever.
fine wherever. I'm not sleeping at all. If you're spending that much money on a hotel room, I'm
You're gonna be
staying awake the
awakening.
whole time.
Give me the no-dos.
And like we've watched fireworks from there, and it's my favorite on the monorail loop for sure. And yeah, it's a phenomenal resort. And of course, you can get Dole Whip. And now I
back
like that.
scratchers.
I like you can walk to Grand Flow pretty
Yes.
quickly and the TTC to get over to Epcot as well.
Yeah, those sidewalks have always been underutilized. But now that Grand Flow connects to the park, you can walk to the park.
You can.
There's something to be said about that. When you have a sleeping child in a stroller, sometimes you're like, well, let's give them 20 more minutes of a nap rather than getting on the monorail. They're gonna get woken up. You can just walk on around at your own pace,
I'm not doing that.
and you get a back scratcher, Derek.
That the back scratcher. I have multiple back scratchers. Start a collection.
I don't think I'll ever
I need
get
to
a back
sign
scratcher.
them like with the
You
date, like
should,
when we
dates.
go on them. Yeah.
And I will never see or get a back scratcher and not think about our flight home.
When I was
back in
I was
September.
scratching your back. I was trying to be a nice
It's
guy,
just-
and
oh
Michelle
my
like gave me
gosh.
the dirtiest look of all time.
It's like
I now understand what your children feel like.
It's like a 12-year-old was given a toy on an airplane.
It happens.
Oh my gosh. So I'll think of that every time when you're back scratcher.
Also, it has my favorite gift shop on property. I feel like that is the right size, multiple like level gift shop, and I love the lobby.
Yeah. Do you like the new lobby or do you miss the waterfall?
I'm okay with the new lobby.
Okay. Me too. I
Yeah.
thought I'd miss the waterfall, but to be honest, I think Shruggy is good. I'm good with Shruggy.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's good. You spend so much time in the shops and at Ohana. It's like the lobby is just the way to get into everything. I'm not going to stand and take a million pictures. The lobbies that I think, I don't want to see them change is the really big ones like Jumbo. It's like those. That's where the
Jumbo,
lobby and Wilderness.
Wilderness Lodge and Jumbo and Grand Floridian.
Yes, don't mess
They
with
have
those
the
lobbies.
lobbies.
Yeah, that you're going to hang out in all day.
Yeah. Should I move on to my number one? Are
Go
we ready
for it.
that?
Number one.
Talking about lobbies,
Oh, here we go.
the most disappointing lobby check-in experience you can have after we mentioned Grand Flow and Wilderness Lodge and Jumbo. Going to the Contemporary, Derek.
Yep.
You expect, right, from the outside, you've ridden the monorail
This
through.
is going to
you
be an
think that
amazing
lobby
resort.
Going to be this atrium all the way in. No, it's like just, yeah, the lobby is disappointing. But the rest of the resort, fantastic. Something about being in the tower, having a room that looks, you go out your door, you can look over the rail down at Chef Mickey's, down at the Fantasia gift shop, down at Monorail zipping through. There's just something about that when you step out your door that is so unique. It's just, there's nowhere else in the world like that, right? Similar to the Animal Kingdom Lodge. How often you see giraffes off your balcony? It's something very, very particular. There's lots of balconies in the world where you can see a lake and a swimming pool or a dumpster. But the good thing about Caribbean, I think one of the reasons I like the Contemporary is there are no McKnight views.
Oh, there's somewhere. I guarantee somewhere in there.
I mean, they're all up at least 5th floor or higher, right? So you're not going to look at a dumpster.
Somewhere in the garden wing area.
Well, I'm not saying the garden.
Okay.
Okay, in the
I stayed in the
tower.
garden wing. It was actually not that bad.
Well, it wouldn't be the garden wing is not going to be number one on my list.
Okay.
The garden
You got to
wing would
stay
be like
in the
8, 9.
Contemporary.
The garden wing would probably be right after the Riviera for me.
Okay.
I don't know, probably lower than that. But the Riviera is in that 6, 7, 8 group with Wilderness Lodge and, my gosh, I'm drawing a blank on the other one I said. But anywho, I really like the Contemporary. Love Bay Lake Tower. Well, we like the 1 bedroom over there. Particular, it's great for our family of 5. I made it all the way to number 1 before I said family of 5, Derek.
There you go.
So the big rooms too for deluxes. The standard rooms are some of the biggest, and the club level, phenomenal. So get yourself a club level theme park view at the Contemporary.
Wow.
Best room you can get.
What
book
about
it
the
now.
Incredibles overlay? Are you liking it or disliking it?
It's pillows. I don't care really
Okay.
that much. I like that there's something that reminds you you're in Disney World if the windows are shut and you're in your room. It's good to know you're at Disney World. That's one thing I don't like about the All-Stars and Pop is how they've de-Disneyed them.
Mm-hmm.
They have giant 40-foot statues outside, and inside we have like one picture on a bed when you pull it down.
It's the 4
Like a
picture
wall.
of Mickey that I
Right?
keep saying. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm fine with Disney theming in rooms. If I wanted a plain boring room, I could go anywhere downtown, any city, and have a room
Yep.
that looks like a hotel room. A room that's just a room. Granted, it's one thing that's kind of nice about Grand Destino is it's a very nice room. It could work in the downtown convention hotel in any major city, but it also has just a few little Disney touches. But I'm okay with the overlay. Give me the Incredibles.
Okay.
I don't think they're not overlaying Bay Lake Tower, just
just the
the
main
Contemporary, and they're doing some plumbing. Thank goodness.
So you don't get rained on again.
I even like this after getting kicked out of the room.
I'm
on
surprised.
Christmas
I
Eve
didn't
at
think
10
this would
o'clock
be
at
your
night,
number
right?
1. It doesn't even make my top 5, the Contemporary.
Oh man,
It was low. I'll get into the debate on the Contemporary after I go through my number 1. So you mentioned my number 1, and that is Beach Club. I love Beach Club. It's 5 minutes, if that. You can get into Epcot in 5 minutes. It's a great place, especially adults only. The pool, we didn't even mention the pool. Massive pool, and then when you want to swim, it starts raining. That happens. But love the pool. It's just one of those ones where feel good. I feel like everyone in that resort is just in a happy mood. It's just got that feel, that smell. Love the rooms.
Now the smell can change in the evening with the old clam bake, but just
Yeah,
beware
that's
of
true.
that. Yeah.
Cape May, great restaurant. Character dining, hopefully come back soon.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge fan of Beach Club, mostly because you said location.
And what neither of us mentioned was Boardwalk.
I have to give an asterisk, and I was going to say that after the show because I've never been able to stay at Boardwalk, and I want to.
I mean,
a lot of people rank Boardwalk as their number
right?
1 on our
It has
Patreons,
that
like 4 or
location.
5. Yep.
It has that location, but it just doesn't have that same feel as Yacht
Someone
Beach.
is yelling at you
Oh,
right now.
lots of people.
Actually, Gary. Gary is yelling at you right now, our Patreon.
It's got creepy clown chairs, folks. You can't trust the place.
But I love the
creepy
restaurants. I love the boardwalk area, and that's why
Yeah.
Beach Club's my favorite because I can walk
It's
there in
there.
like 78 seconds. That's where I love that Crescent area.
Derek walks really fast,
I
by the
do.
way. 78 seconds.
Sometimes. Yeah, and you also at Beach Club you actually have the Skyliner, so
Yep.
you want to jump on and go over to Epcot, you can, or the studios, you can.
What would you say the worst thing about Beach Club? I mean, clearly we both love it.
Yes.
What would you say the worst thing about Beach Club is? Because I have my idea of what the worst thing. There's two possibilities here.
Okay, one, the lobby is always busy. Drives me insane.
That one I don't care.
I don't know. I
just knock people over.
That is true. I really don't have one off the top of my head.
Two negatives.
Okay, what are they?
Transportation to where you have to ride a bus.
Okay, yeah.
It's like, why can't we get deluxes better transportation? It makes
That's
no sense
all
to
the
me.
deluxes.
All the
Yes.
deluxes. We stayed there one time when we shared buses with Yacht, Boardwalk, Swan, and Dolphin. That was insane.
Yeah,
it was
that would be
like
horrendous.
a moderate bus route, but deluxes, they don't do that anymore. That was back in the day. That was back when they only did Phantasmic twice a week. And so like Hollywood Studios would be packed on the nights they did Phantasmic. Absolutely awful time. That was like 2008, 2010, 2011. Ugh. We outgrew those. I was worried that stuff would come back with COVID, but it hasn't, thank goodness. No. And the other knock on Beach Club, which I think they fixed some, is counter service dining.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's kind of in the gift shop.
It's in the gift shop. They just kind of shoehorned it in, but now it has a real menu.
It does.
It's better. It's improved. Same thing with Yacht Club. That's kind of the knock on both of those. Boardwalk, they shoehorned the counter service stuff into the bakery. So none of them have a food court, but then again, none of the deluxes do.
Riviera's got a great quick
restaurant.
service.
Yeah.
I think they fixed that there.
Yeah, Riviera is good. Contemporary has good quick service with Contempo. It's good. It's decent.
Actually, neither of us mentioned Grand Floridian. Actually, that is good quick service.
Good quick service. It's Grand Floridian's nice to visit.
That's a weird. It doesn't even fall in my top 10.
I just don't have the desire. Some people love it,
and I know a lot of people wrote Grand Flow on the list. We had like 3 or 4 Patreons that at least mentioned it, and just not for me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just I enjoy. I'll take Bay Lake Tower or the Contemporary Tower over any of those any day. Now, if I'm doing a trip that's like food and wine trip or like say a Star Wars orientated trip, put me over at on Crescent Lake at Beach or Yacht over Contemporary. That's kind of how I split it. But if I had to pick one where I'm just kind of gonna hang out and casually do some things, I like the Contemporary.
Okay.
What else are we debating here?
Let's
see. So you had Wilderness Lodge at 5?
Yeah, that just snuck back in the top 5 after we went there. So
wasn't because of the food at Whispering Canyon that did it though.
No, it wasn't bad. What's funny is Whispering Canyon is where I met Mickey, and like I had a flood of memories, and then that's when my wife found the pictures and stuff like that. So good memories from there.
And then you ate the brisket.
It is what it is. I'm never like, if you blow me away with Disney food, yes, that's you get a nacho. That the one thing with Contemporary with having California Grill on top is the one reason why Contemporary fluctuated a little bit when I was doing my list.
It's a good restaurant, and that's the other thing. Grand Floridian has all those restaurants, but man, they're just as easy to visit and eat at and leave.
That's true.
We don't it doesn't seem to do it for me. Grand Floridian's layout, I think, is a drawback as well. You got to walk a little ways. Some of those buildings. I know you could say that about the Poly too.
Yeah.
But
neither one of us said like Saratoga Springs, which is a lot of walking.
A lot of walking. It's like a moderate on steroids.
But we had a couple of our Patreons mention that one as well. So a lot of they have big rooms. So
giant.
Yeah. So I get why a lot of big families choose Saratoga.
Hey, if you want to go to Disney Springs,
if that's your jam, that's where you go.
The one, like, if you need, there's families that go to Disney Springs every afternoon.
Oh, I know.
God bless you.
Not us.
I don't
get
get it.
We usually go once every other trip.
Maybe.
Yeah. Not you. Me,
No,
my
I
family.
I try to avoid it as if it's the
The
plague.
the other one I need to
I'm good at
stay at,
avoiding the plague.
you have been so far, knock on something. I want to stay at Old Key West.
I know. I need to get there too.
My daughter went to Olivia's for her birthday, and my wife is like, that's moved up her list, like that we need to get to sometime.
So what's the bottom of your list?
Of deluxes, moderates,
Yeah,
value, where oh,
all three.
the All Stars. But actually, I think Pop. I don't like Pop or the All Stars. I've had some really bad
Because of your
luck at both of
neighbor.
them. Yeah, that too. No, I just Pop. Here's what I hate about Pop is that the transportation, everyone stays there, so your bus lines can be horrendous. And I've just
But
had
you get the most buses.
they do get a lot of buses, but if you don't rope drop, you're screwed. And on the way back, you might be wanting to take an Uber or walk because you'll be faster than the bus no matter where you're at because those lines get ridiculous.
They do.
That Pop is always sold out, and even food court, like it's always a line, and it's just there's a lot of people.
A lot of people. They do well with their people.
They do well. I'm not saying they don't do well. It's just more than
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Pop and All Stars. I've kind of gotten to a point where I kind of push.
You're just
those
done
off
with
now.
values.
No,
basically.
because I do want to get back to the family suites at Art Animation.
Oh, the family suites.
We
are
had
great.
one booked and then had to move it around.
2 bathrooms.
Yeah.
I just can't stress how
The
nice
two
that
bathrooms
is.
I had at Kidani was one of the. I was like, you can go to Disney and have 2 bathrooms. This is a game changer.
Yeah, especially as your kids get older.
Yep.
Like it's so much nicer. Man, like when we only have one cabin on a cruise ship, it's torture compared to 2. It's a big price difference, but it makes a big difference having the
One
2
neither of
bathrooms.
us mentioned was, of course, Fort Wilderness
Mm-hmm.
because neither of us have stayed there.
I have not. It's one of 2
Don't
places
know
I
how to
haven't
rank
stayed.
it. Yeah,
It's like a moderate plus.
depending on
And then
where you
there's
stay.
tents.
Yeah,
I think if I had to stay in a tent, it'd be last.
I think so. But
I
yeah.
would rate it like I'd write like a Yelp review and be like the air conditioning sucks.
Wow,
You know,
totally would
like
do that.
like those are the type of reviews I love. You know, it's like the air conditioning's bad and I could hear crickets. Like you were in a tent. So, or somebody that was in an RV and they complained about the RV rather than complaining about the
Oh, that's
property.
funny.
Right? That
Yep.
happens. I've seen those. Like the air conditioning broke in our RV. Like it's not Disney's fault. I don't know what you want.
Yeah, 1
But over
star.
here, yeah, 1 star. That's so yeah. You also have to get a golf cart if you stay there.
Yeah, I saw that. I've
Like-
seen it. It just
like
blows
it's-
my mind.
Mhm.
That's how big it is. But the best resort, Doug, is of course the one you're staying at, because that means
I
you're at a
agree.
Walt Disney World vacation.
We were splitting hairs. here,
Yes.
folks. I mean, we
And
could
we're
have done
hoping people are yelling at us right
Yeah.
now for our choices.
because you're all right, unless you're wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because because some of our Patreons are like, we love the All Stars because we save money and we spend it all in the parks.
So when I asked Samantha for her top 5, like in her top 5 overall, we're talking about somebody that stayed at almost every resort except for Old Key West and the campgrounds, right? Fort Wilderness. She stayed everywhere. I think she's even stayed at Coronado. Can't remember on Coronado. But she said Riverside.
My wife
she's
put Riverside
15.
in hers.
So Riverside's in her top 5.
Yeah, and my
Of all
wife's
those-
as well.
And we're like, we haven't stayed at Riverside for a while. It's actually, we stayed one night on the trip right before the world ended last March, right? And so we're trying to figure out why Riverside. And we realized as a 15-year-old, she already has nostalgia for where we stayed a lot when she was little. Because when she was younger, there was only one resort at a moderate level that a family of 5 could stay at. And that was Riverside because they had the pull down bed. So we were able to stay there and use the pull down bed. So that is her nostalgia. It's crazy. it hurt my head to think my children already have nostalgia
My
for
daughter,
certain things.
9, when I asked her, she still likes All Star Sports because all the cheerleaders from our area were staying there and they were playing the Husker fight song and stuff like that. And she fell in love with that and she talked to all the cheerleaders and stuff like that. So that will always rank in her top 5 somewhere.
It's concerning,
I know.
right? Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting how things change in nostalgia, and like your nostalgia came into play on Wilderness
It did.
Lawn.
It really did. When we went
You
there, it wouldn't even have made the top 5 unless you and I went there twice and we found all those pictures.
and so I stayed at Caribbean Beach when I was younger. The first year it was open. I don't think nostalgia played into that at all. Where I think nostalgia plays in for me is my number one pick of the contemporary. Because as a kid, I was always like, I want to stay here
Yeah.
where the monorail goes, and we never did. We also stayed at the golf resort, which is now Shades of Green, so that doesn't really count. So no nostalgia there. But it is what it is.
It is, yeah. People have their resorts. And the ones that amaze me, though, are the people, and we have friends that do this, they stay at the same resort every single trip. That's the one I
Yeah.
don't understand, Doug. My goal is to get to all the resorts, and now we're starting to get to, round 2 and a couple round 3s. But so people are like, yeah, this is our one resort we stay at.
And it's like Riverside,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, well, Caribbean Beach now sleeps 5 because they added that. They added queen beds because for a long time when I was traveling, it was double beds at the moderates and values. I have queens everywhere. So the difference between them has gotten smaller other than square footage, linens, amenities, right? Because we have queen beds. And you could try this, like the Skyliners at Caribbean Beach. Convincing somebody to go somewhere different
No,
sometimes.
once they're pot committed on their resort, it's their resort. I totally get that.
I mean, I got 2 I would call my resort, but by all means, we're going to move around and check them all
No,
out.
absolutely. That's what we do.
There's
Got
some
to.
that are going to.
We can't be professional podcasters and not give honest reviews at all the resorts.
Professional.
Yes.
Yeah. We're getting there.
Someday.
How many do you have left, Derek? You got Old Key West. You do Saratoga.
I've not done Saratoga. I've not done Old Key West. I've not done the campgrounds. Grand Flow, I'll probably never stay at. I do want to get to Boardwalk really bad. Yacht Club we have for the first time coming up. So we're getting there.
And you've stayed at the Poly?
I've never actually stayed at the Poly.
Okay. So.
Which is crazy that it's my number 2. We've had it booked and we've moved it, but it's the fact that it's my number 2 is because I keep going there. I don't go to all the resorts that often. And so, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just have Old Key West and the campgrounds left, and I'm pretty confident none of them are happening anytime soon. Sorry, Old Key West fans. Sorry.
You and me, maybe sometime. That could be a rope drive trip.
We
Who knows?
almost did, but we went All Stars because it had just reopened.
Oh, that's true.
We were close. But I think All Stars was good.
Yep.
Got
to experience it every now and then. Every 5 years, I'll go to All Stars. How about
reminds you, it's really cheap. I can do it for this many days, but
daddy kids trip.
See you later.
If I ever take my kids again, we'll look at that. So there you go. That is our top 5 and our favorite resorts debated. The question is, what is your favorite resort? So this week on all of our social media platforms, we're going to ask, of course, what's your favorite deluxe and moderate and value resort. So be sure to like us and follow us so you can play along. And if Doug or I was wrong, please let us know on how bad we messed up. But Doug, if you want to book any of the resorts, because you need to go to them, don't stay off property. You want to stay on property, you have to book with Michelle McKnight, the road drop queen herself, who has booked a bajillion of my resorts and is really good at working with my budget. And sometimes she's pretty good at convincing me to change resorts, Doug.
Yeah, to experience something different, it's on sale.
How many times that has happened? It's like, hey, I want to stay here, and she's like, well, this one's cheaper. I'm like, well, looks like it. That's how we actually stayed at Caribbean Beach the first time. They were doing all that construction and did that discount. And I was like, yep, staying at Caribbean Beach.
That's right. It was deeply discounted for a little while.
That was cheaper than a value at times when they were really putting in those Skyliners. So you never know. You got to work with a travel agent because she'll help you navigate the prices for sure. So thank you, Michelle, for all that. Thank you to all of our Patreons. We got to get to our Patreon show, and that is all the time that we have. So for Doug, I'm Derek. You've been listening to Rope Drop Radio.